This week we've been talking about the theme of why it's important where you set your mind, which has to do with what you focus on and also what you pursue in life, what matters to you. And in Matthew chapter 20, in verses 20 to 28, we have a scene that is found in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now, what's interesting about this scene is that in Mark, which is the oldest gospel to be written down, we're told that the sons of Zebedee, James and John, come to Jesus basically asking him for a favor to sit at his right and his left beside him in glory. And what's it's frankly funny to me is in Matthew's gospel, Matthew tries to deflect the blame for this because James and John get kind of skewered by the other disciples for asking for special privileges from Jesus. So when that story appears in Matthew's gospel, he basically blames their mom. He says in verse 20, then the mother of the sons of Zebedee came to him with her sons. Kneeling before him, she asked a favor of him. He said to her, what do you want? He said, declare that these two sons of mine will sit one at your right hand and one at your left in your kingdom. So I don't know which one actually happened, whether James and John asked for themselves or whether it was their mother. Both are in some ways believable, but I just think it's interesting. But the main point is, in all of the versions of this incident, Jesus says, first of all, that they don't know what they're asking. And he says, are you able to drink the cup that I'm about to drink? And they say, we are able. And that phrase is the inspiration for a great old hymn in the church. Are ye able, said the Master, to be crucified with me? Yea, the sturdy dreamers answered, to the death we follow thee. Well, here they say, yeah, we can do it. And then Jesus tells them basically, you know what? You're gonna drink the same cup that I drink, foretelling the fact that they both would be martyred. But they get the martyrdom, they get the cup of suffering without getting the promise of glory, because Jesus says, that's not for me to grant, that's for who has been prepared for by my Father. And then Jesus goes on to our verse of the day, which is verse 26, where Jesus talks about how power is exercised. And he says, among the rulers of the Gentiles, people with power lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. And we've all seen throughout all of history, right up to the present day, how people who are in positions of great power so often, sadly, use that power to punish their enemies and to reward their sycophantic loyalists who are faithful to them no matter how bad their character, their ethics, or their actions. Look what we've seen in Putin's Russia, for example. But no, it's not to be that way in the kingdom of God. And the verse for the day is verse 26. It will not be so among you, but whoever wishes to be great among you must be your servant. As Christians, we don't climb a ladder of power to greatness. We descend into greatness, seeking to serve one another.